Hey everybody, welcome back to Fighting Matters. We've got a couple of special guests here today with us. I am Mike, old bastard BJJ Mahaffey, and I'm here with my buddy and co-host Jesse Walker. How are you doing, Jesse?
Hey, I'm good. How are things going?
Awesome. I'm just excited to be here. And I'm really excited about today because we've got two gentlemen on who I've known for some time in the Jiu-Jitsu community. First, we've got Deon Thompson, who runs Ohio Braza down in Toledo. Is that right, Deon?
That's correct. Deon Thompson Jiu-Jitsu on all social media. Ohio Braza, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Toledo, Ohio.
And I've known Deon for quite a long time. He's been a staple in the jiu-jitsu community in the Midwest. I fought in multiple promotions that he's done. He's just a stand-up guy who I really respect. And then we've got Stephen Hall. Stephen is a longtime competitor who I met through some mutual friends in the IBJJF, and again, another stand-up dude, and we're lucky to have both of you on today.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for having us.
For sure.
Always. So what kind of led to the two of you coming on this show? I want to give some context for our listeners and viewers. As you may know, here at Fighting Matters, we're all about fighting racism and homophobia and xenophobia and all that crap in the jiu-jitsu community. And there was an article recently about a white nationalist group using a jiu-jitsu school down in Tennessee to kind of covertly train people. And so then I know you, Deon and Stephen and I got into some conversations online, and it came up that you guys have had some unfortunate experiences with that. And that's not anything that Jesse or I or really any of the other hosts can talk about. And so I thought it'd be great to have you guys on. I'd love to hear some of your stories. I'd love to talk about what's happened with you guys, what you've experienced, and even more importantly, how we as jiu-jitsu coaches can weed those kind of bad actors out and keep our schools safe for everybody.
For sure. So, I mean, I guess I can start it really quick. This is funny. It goes back to 2000, and it was so crazy because we actually had a white supremacist guy come into our school at the time. I'll never forget his name. His name was Roy. He had like a tattoo, like a Confederate flag, or if I had Joe Johnson, he could really tell the story about it. And all I know is my instructor at the time, was like, hey man, he's coming back tomorrow. Let's kind of show him our way. And it was at that time I said, you know what? This jiu-jitsu is really cool. But at the same time, when you go to tournaments and things, let's be honest, we all do a lot of tournaments. And for the most part, that's how Steve and I kind of actually met each other. Two tall guys. We walked by years and years ago, always saying, hey, what's up? What's up? But back to that incident, that was so long ago. And now I think it's just so prevalent that, Mike, when you post that article, it's crazy to think that they're actually recruiting guys now.
Mm-hmm. I unfortunately, I don't think that is crazy. And not say not crazy. It's not surprising. Since my beginning, it has always felt as much as I was inside, I was always an outsider. I can say going back to times I can remember. I don't know if you guys remember Michael Westbrook.
Yes.
He used to play for Washington. He's a black belt. He's out of I think he's in Arizona.
He
I
played
might
at
be wrong.
Colorado. I was supposed to do a super fight with him at brown belt once.
Oh no, I've been in the pros, but yeah. So him, it was he, Jared Bunch, and a guy named Bruiser Neal. And I never forget, I was at some tournament. Michael wasn't there, and the guys announcing, and they're like, in the final, Michael Westbrook, and I'm sitting there like, and they're talking about me, and I'm like, dude, his name's not even on. It was like there was only like maybe 4 or 5 of us that you saw on the circuit, but they would, and he told me a story of he was at a tournament and they called him me, and I'm like, is it's only this many at this time. Like, how do you get just those 4? So it must be the one guy that's running around. It just was weird, but I say that lightheartedly, but the feeling that of me not necessarily being wanted or fitting in there has been there since the beginning. I can say I have plenty good relationships and good experiences as well. It's just that, and unfortunately today it's coming to pass that that's growing. It's really bad now, because the thing about it is I think, and I don't want to get too deep into politics. I don't know how y'all gonna do that, but it's beyond politics now. It's not a hey, I believe money should be allocated here, and we believe it should be over here. It's not that anymore. Like, I don't care your affiliation or what have you, but when you start to have people following a playbook that fascists, Nazis, whatever you want to call it, have followed almost to a T, and then you ingrain that into a combat art, uh, it ends up being something that can be very damaging at times. Um, for as many of the good stories that I can tell about me feeling accepted, I can tell somewhere it looks like I can tell where people are turning their back, and they're turning. And I'm a 54-year-old man, black man in America. People want to tell you, oh, that's not what it is. I know what it is. I've been here long enough. I know what it is. So
We've been, so we started doing this show maybe about a year ago. Is that right, Jesse?
God, I don't even know at this point. It's been a while.
It's been a, and
it's been a
we've
little bit more than a year. I followed you.
okay. Well, that means a lot to me. Thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
And we've talked about active clubs repeatedly throughout the year. These like neo-Nazi fitness and fight clubs, and how the combat sports have been used as recruiting tools for these groups. And I hear you, Stephen. Like,
Mhm.
it's all over the place, and it's at the point where I am very careful when I meet new jiu-jitsu people. Like, I will,
Mhm.
and I'm in the demographic. My kids say that I'm MAGA presenting, but you know, uh, I'm, but I'm very careful when I meet jiu-jitsu people. Like, I will uh Facebook and Instagram stalk folks when I meet them to get a sense of who
Mhm.
they are before I open myself up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you don't have to vote the same way I do, but if there's any indication that you're one of these, far right
Extremist.
guys,
Yeah.
pardon?
Yeah.
I was like an extremist. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm like, no, I don't want anything to do with that.
Again, to get off of the political aspect of it, even though it's there, I was always, my grandmother said to me a long time ago, hey, if there are 2 sides and the Nazis are standing over there, the right side's over there. I don't care what you talk about and how it goes. And it is a very attractive thing that jujitsu presents. Jujitsu presents uh confidence. It presents self-preservation, self-defense, and it gives people a pride about themselves, that they can uh defend themselves when they're dealing with anything. And but it also has the ability, and we know this just away from this particular topic, if you bring somebody in with a bad actor, bad thought process into your gym, Most of the time, those people don't stay, but there are more than a few that hang around, and their job, their thought process is, I'm going to be so good at this that I'm going to be able to humble these people that I don't like. And unfortunately, that is something that uh, this demographic that we're talking about is looking to do. So it makes it very easy to attract people to say, hey, I can teach you how to do this, and now you can go out here and you can use this in a way that it wasn't intended to be used. Just my opinion.
You know, one of the things I'm always really curious, and I think about it a lot, like how when these people do come and they do stay, you know, how do they find home places? And it was something that Mike just said about when we meet new people, and even when we get to know them for a while, we all have a tendency to be
Mhm.
very self-referential. It, and so I hear all the time, I mean, whether it's racism or sexual assault or whatever it is, when we're talking about a bad actor, it's real easy for somebody like me that looks like me to be like, oh, well, he's always been really nice to me. And it's like, well,
Right.
it doesn't fucking matter how nice he is to me. Let's see how he acts with people that don't look like us, that don't act like us. That's the barometer. But we all get so self-referential about, oh, this person's nice to me, so they must be a good person, and that is simply just not true. But I think we fall into that trap a lot.
It gets hard sometimes because you have people that have been quote unquote good to you. And I've had occasion to overhear and be a part of a conversation, but I was having one of my I don't want to deal with it days, and I'm listening, and basically the guy, he posted a few things. This was a student in the gym that posted a few things, and in support of some things that are in my view very racist, very hateful. And he was speaking to another black guy that's there, and the black guy was like, hey, look, this offends me. I had seen it a couple times. I made a comment. I'm like, really? I wanted you to address it. If you're not going to address it, then I feel like, hey, you know what you're saying and you know what you're doing, right? Now, to me, this person has always been great, good person. The problem with it is if I weren't who I am in the gym, if I weren't who I was in the art, would you treat me the same?
Mm.
The things that you are supporting, whether you say you're supporting them for another reason or not, you're still supporting the base evil part of it. You can't, I cannot say, like, people, a lot of times, people don't want to get labeled as racist. But if you support something racist, you're racist. I'm sorry. There's no, why I treat you really good. Because to me, that comes, I got a black friend.
You guys
And
want to hear
that's
something?
very, yeah.
You want to hear something? It's like guys. Me and Steve have a relationship. Like that's literally my little brother, and I have a lot of conservative views. I'll put it out there. He and I have gone back and forth, but I think, but I'm more or less. I can tell right from wrong. You know, just because in my academy, I own an academy, and I have affiliates in a place called Clyde, Ohio, which is 99% hit white. Kent, Ohio, 99% hit white guys. Columbus is that's a pretty diverse demographic, and then I'm about to pick up another one on the border of Ohio. And it's funny to me because when these guys ask to affiliate with me, I always think to myself like, "Hey, why would they choose this black guy?" You know. But then on the converse, I'm like, they say, "Hey, man, we like what you're doing. We looked at you holistically because you guys know for an affiliate, at least the way I work." I like to get to know my affiliates too, because for what we're talking
Mhm.
about today, okay, am I this guy that can ultimately give you a weapon in a sense that can destroy a lot of people, or do you really just enjoy the art? And I can honestly say I've been fortunate with my affiliate program. Those guys have been super cool because you're right. It's easy to label people because if you think Clyde, Ohio,
Mhm.
Sandusky, Ohio, first thing I'm like, what the heck? But I'm gonna just shout them out now. Those guys have been some of my best affiliates. So, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Like we said, in those little towns, that's where you kind of find it. Sometimes in the big towns. I was telling you this, Mike. I'm not stupid. I'm one of the few probably instructors in Ohio, black. Let's see, there's probably me. There's a guy, Dustin Ware, down in Columbus. But in the whole state, there's like 2 jujitsu instructors of African American descent. Not a lot in Michigan either. But I'll say, and I said this before, and I always tease my guys. I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of success competing wise, as of a lot of you guys. And I said, I always make this joke. And I said, I know people have looked at my website and said, uh-oh, there's this black, we're going to go over here. I'm not stupid. We laugh about it at my academy, but I have a diverse group. There's gay people in my school. Obviously, my school is majority white. It's probably 95% out of like 108 guys. And Mike, you've done my events too. And you guys have supported, like, you guys, Commonwealth. I could go on and on. Voyage. Man, I don't want to miss anybody, Proving Ground, a lot of different schools. And I always say to myself, as a black person, we have this saying, we got to go twice as, fast to get half as far, or we have to do things better. But I have such good support systems in you guys, and I want to thank you right there, Mike. Steve, too. Steve, I'll go travel. I'll see him. We laugh and joke about things, and I'm like, maybe because I'm from the Midwest, my views are different in a sense, but it's nice that we can have this dialogue. If that made any sense what I just said, but
100%.
No, I did.
Like,
Absolutely.
it's not about, none of this is really about like right versus left or voting Republican or Democrat. It's about like basic human decency.
yes,
Right.
There you go.
And, the people that are doing the stuff that they did in that article down in Tennessee, the white supremacist group, like basically infiltrating this school. It sounded like, according to the article, unbeknownst to the school owners, and
Okay.
using that space to train people. Like, it's those people that I won't have any quarter with, right? Like, and, again, it's not a right versus left issue. It's a basic human decency issue, right? Judging people on who they are, not the color of their skin or their religion or their sexuality or their gender, any of that BS.
But Jesse, you raised a point off the air that I really want you to touch on. Teaching in Atlanta versus Louisville. I think, Steve, this is a good one, man. You're going to like this.
Now, I want to hear that, but I do want to say something about what you were saying. Jesse, you were asking, I think you said, how did that person end up staying? Because usually we know you get the CrossFit guy that's a level 4 CrossFit guy, and then you run him out of there in a day because he's tired when he's done, right? Or a big strong guy that had 400 street fights, and you get the 165-pound purple belt and just run him over, and he's not there anymore. Something was said to me a long time ago, and I tell this to people when they come to visit the gym to see if they want to stay at the gym. I tell them, I say, go to another gym.
Oh,
And here's the thing, you're going to find your tribe of people, whoever you're like. In that, you have to look at it and say, let's say, oh, can I cuss around here?
Of course.
Okay, just checking. I just
Man,
because
YouTube.
I'm
We
gonna
don't
let
want to
it
mess
slip.
up the
It's gonna
monitor.
happen.
Fuck yes,
It's
you
gonna
can
happen.
cuss.
There you go. All right. If you were an asshole and you walk into a gym and the instructor does not have that as a part of the culture of the gym, you're going to leave. When you find people who are at gyms who are assholes, I guarantee you, if they've been there more than a year, the instructor's an asshole. That's how it happens. You do have the ones or twos here and there where that person just decides by sheer force of will, I'm just not going to leave. I'm going to stay here no matter what, even though they're having a bad time of it and they're not fitting in and they're just doing it to be obstinate. That doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. But the thing is, in general, what did they say? Elio would say, they asked Elio why he wouldn't give anybody a black belt outside his family in less than 10 years. Because you cannot hide your character in 10 years.
Mm.
You can hide it in 2, you can hide it in 3, 4, 5. And 10 years being around somebody, there's no way you hide everything, because you're going to have gone through this full gambit of loss, ups, downs, anger. What, you lose your temper there, somebody else loses their temper, somebody gets hurt. You're gonna see the full character of that person in that time. So most of the time it doesn't happen. But I think the only time that they end up staying is when that person is just so obstinate that, no, I don't fit here. No, this doesn't work right, but I'm going to stay here no matter what. I don't like these people, but I'm going to use this for what I'm using it for. And that's how that person normally stays. So sorry, I didn't. So
Steve, can I
go ahead,
chime in
man.
on that? I love that point.
Hmm.
And that's why sometimes I think when you're at a smaller academy, it's really, you can really tell, because you're right. Like, I think it's easier to hide if you have like a 500 person
Oh yeah.
academy where guys are just coming and going. You kind of don't have that family atmosphere. You just see there's 1,000 classes, which I think is great. Hopefully one day I can get to that precipice. But I think when you have a smaller, more intimate academy, and as instructors, we can kind of see, like, I'm with you. When a guy comes in to sign up or does his trial class, I ask a lot of questions. And I've often told my students, hey, guys that I trust, guys that's been there for a while, if there's anything that seems off about this guy, let me know. And I do the same thing. I say, hey, go try this
Hmm.
school. There's free trials. And you're right. If they come back, or if they, don't, man, it is what it is. But I do think I like that, because you're right. After years, because we've all seen people come and go. We've seen people that you met initially and you're like, man, this person's going to be this. They're going to be good for the academy. And then as years
Hmm.
go by, they kind of start acting a certain, like, whoa, I finally figured this person out. So yeah.
I also, as a school owner, I know that, not that I've ever really struggled. I tend to be pretty hard nosed about this stuff, but it's I do agree that it ends up being that that they are an asshole. Um,
Hmm.
but there are a lot of people that are averse to confrontation, that are averse
Right.
to losing a student and losing that money, not knowing
Hmm.
that because they're
Mm.
keeping that student there, they're probably blocking 10, 20, 30 other students from coming in because of that one asshole that they won't kick out. Um, but it's always real interesting to hear kind of other coaches talk about some of those struggles.
Hmm.
You know what's funny? You don't find out about it till they leave. Then you got a whole bunch of them like, oh yeah, this person was like, well, why didn't you say anything?
Yeah,
Why
like,
didn't
dude,
you
you didn't say
fucking
nothing.
tell
Yeah.
me?
Because sometimes, we're insulated from that stuff. Let's be honest, So
Right.
That's right.
No, that's why I'm kind of blessed to be in the situation I am. I'm where I am not only because of the technical ability of Rafael, who's the head instructor there, but because of his character, and because he has the gym. He's created a culture and a character of the gym that reflects who he is, that reflects what he wants to see. So, it said it's real BJJ lifestyle, and it's a family thing. It's something where you come that everybody can feel comfortable there. You can train hard. You can come just because you just want to, learn something new, or whatever, but everybody fits into that. Um, I say that to also say, though, to go back to I guess, to the topic of at hand. Uh, Unfortunately, it's still at times, in today's world, this is just to me personally, and I don't know if there's other people out there that feel that way, but it's it is very hard for me to separate today the support for some of the hateful things that we have going on, and in this particular administration, and the people who support that administration, because if I end up seeing that you like touching little kids.
Mhm.
Or I end up seeing that you want to throw people out because of their sexual orientation, or you want to throw them out because of their color, their skin, and you're throwing out people who are actual citizens, but they look different. So nah, they got to go too. If you are okay with that for whatever reason, I can separate the fact that you've been good to me, but I dissociate myself from you because I know that if what people don't really get is it can be a life and death situation for me in those racial, situations. So I don't take it as it's just policy or it's just a feeling or it's just, well, I treat you that way because you're a good person. Well, you don't know if this guy's a good person. You don't know if that girl's a good person. You don't know that. So you treat them a certain way, but I I I actually feel that's worse because you gave me the benefit of getting to know who I am and whatever, but you're so adamantly against these other people like that. You have people now that, hey, we're gonna make a whole school and we're going to use this. What are you going to use it for? Who are you defending yourself against? What? And again, it's for everyone. So I can't take jujitsu from the world, but at the same time, you're not using that for something benevolent. You may think it's benevolent to you, but it's not. So I kind of take it a little bit more seriously because, like I said, I'm still in a situation where I get followed in a store.
Yeah.
I'm still in a situation where if I get stopped by a policeman, I am literally shaking and scared for my life, and I'm polite as hell. It doesn't matter because I can see how fast certain things can turn. So I don't I kind of don't give the, well, you're good. I got to see how you treat everybody else. You may
Let
treat me
let me
very well, but if you're not treating everybody else the same way, I'm not okay with you.
can I
I'm
so
sorry.
do we no, no, you're gonna see. Do we think because all of us kind of compete at the IBJJFs, like, do you think these are any of these major academies? That's the thing. We need to find out where are these guys coming from? Who's their black belt? Who's the head of their association that's allowing this? That to have these Nazis, like who are they up under? Because
That
I,
was
I
a
would
question. I would like to know who they were. That you're right.
yeah,
I didn't
that
even
to
think
me
about
that
that.
would be a good question. Do we know any of that?
Well, to me, my guess is that they are at the stage that jujitsu more broadly was probably at the 90s, where
Okay.
if they got a hold of a blue belt or a purple belt to teach them, that was
Hmm.
holy
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
man.
it
We
was a
got a purple
unicorn.
belt
Yeah.
to teach us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know that it necessarily is a black belt.
Okay.
It may be so undeveloped that they're kind of relying on lower belts to run this.
Little
If
jujitsu goes
that's
a
just
long way. We definitely
speculation.
know that. But okay.
yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
That would be a good thing because normally that's my thing. Everybody says, "Oh, I do jujitsu." Where? Okay, where? Who's your teacher? Who's his
Yeah.
teacher? Who's also? I probably know who that is. So it's like, yeah, it's that would be something to look into because yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, I wouldn't doubt if unopposed it got to that point where there were some associations or affiliations who would, at the very least, turn a blind eye or not kick them out, right?
Hmm.
Which is part of the reason we're having conversations like this, because you can't defend against something if you're not aware of it.
Right.
Yeah, and
Agreed.
we all know that there's been other bad actors of other types in the jiu-jitsu community
Yeah.
Hmm.
from big affiliations, right?
True.
So racism and neo-Nazism is not the only problem that we face as a community as a whole.
Definitely.
It's,
Sexual assault. You have a whole bunch of things, but once again, I birds of a feather usually flock together. And a lot of times you can have, well, hey, the head instructor, he didn't know this and whatever, because if he knew, he might have done something about it. And we don't always know the whole story of everything in every situation. But once you know, if it's still there, I think everybody has a line in the sand on what they draw. So that's kind of what I was speaking on before. I have a line now. There used to be, hey, I kind of support this because of these policies and I do this, but yeah, this bad stuff might come along with it, but I'm not there for that. It can't do that anymore. Like that's not, but that's, again, it's only my personal feeling about it. I can't take the chance of your support there ending up affecting me or mine, or not even mine, just people in general, just because of who they look like or who they pray to or whatever they believe in or whatever, where it comes home to roost to somebody else. And if we got into jujitsu, I think we're supposed to get into jujitsu to protect other people who are not able to protect themselves as well. So again, it goes back to, like I said, in the name of our gym is real jujitsu lifestyle. As a lifestyle, as an instructor, even not as an instructor, as a practitioner, I'm supposed to defend people who can't defend themselves. I'm supposed to allow the people who are weak when they come into the gym a way forward to become something more of themselves so they can defend themselves or they can just feel better about themselves. And when you start to allow the fact that people want to support racism, sexism, xenophobia, whatever you want to go, and you shelter it under, well, it's political. So it's not, no, stand on whatever it is that you want to be. If this is what you want to do, fine, but stand on it. That's all. This standard. So I know you're over there. I'm over here. Well, why aren't you over? I don't want to be over there with you. Can I be cordial with you? Yes, depending upon what you did, right? Because there's a time where it's just, I got to cut that too. It's not going to be cordial just because, hey, you might have just said you thought about this, and I can still function, and I've had to do that over the time. And I don't know about you, Deon, but I know I've been in situations where people wanted to say whatever they wanted to say, but in the gym you can't beat my ass, so you can't say nothing. So it's like, and if you could, you would. Because the jujitsu strips away a lot of things, especially for men. I don't know so much for ladies, but for men, when you know there's nothing you can do to this guy, you can't do nothing with him. You can get mad all you like, and you're going to get into it with him, and he's going to whoop you. You have a tendency to not say much. And that's what happens with a lot of these people. They're just there, and they'll say what they say wherever they are, but they'll stop saying it to people around people who won't accept it.
That's when you get in those Facebook warriors, like in the comments. I have to stop myself a lot of times from going down the rabbit holes. I'll see certain comments. I'll be wanting to say something so bad, but then I'm like, first of all, I'm not going to change a person's mind. I don't even know this. Didn't you go to their page? I think all of us are kind of from the old school where I know as a white, blue, purple, I wasn't talking like these guys. Not you look
No.
at their page, they're white belts, and they got all these opinions. Then I'm like, wow, like I just wasn't brought through like that. You know what I mean? Like you look up, they're a blue belt. They have so many opinions, and don't get me started on the no gi. Never mind. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep
Nah,
going.
yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
whole
no,
other
that's
podcast with
That's
talking to
another
you about
that's a
no-gi
podcast.
stuff, Deon.
that's a whole nother thing, because it's funny
We
to me. It's like you have a blue belt that's been there for a year or two or wherever, how long he's been there, and he's telling you what, oh, well, this is what makes a black belt. And so I'm like,
Oh my God! Don't that yes. Like okay.
I had a blue or purple belt once online when I was speaking up in defense of the LGBTQ plus community. some dude, some like blue or purple belt wrote something like, "You're not a good enough black belt for me to respect your opinion on that." And I'm like, what? So first of all, what does being a black belt or not have to do with respecting other human beings, right? And like, why are you like putting weighing my opinion based on how good you think I am at jiu-jitsu? Like,
Secondly, once again, I always go back to Stevie said earlier, who are these guys instructors? Is this guy his instructor? Does he act a certain way? Because you can tell a lot by a guy's fruit, by their students.
right.
And my guys, they're gonna see this. They know now. There's certain things. I'm still old school like that. I don't like my white and blue belt doing all that talking. No, we still have a hierarchy in the gym. Hey, you're rolling this to a black belt. You guys about to bump into each other. Look at the belt. Move over. I mean, it's not hazing. It's not bullying, but it's still showing respect for the art. And at times, I think we get away from the martial art aspect. I know you guys all know Dan Lucart. He can't stand no gi. He's always posting like
Who's
fights and
that?
stuff at the no gi. His name's Dan Lucart. He's pretty pop. If you look at him on social media, his guy is Nolan
Okay.
Stewart, just won something, but he's always posting about the no gi culture. I just crack up. But I know we're getting off topic, but I think this is
Yeah, yeah.
important. You're right. You're a black belt. When I would have never thought as a blue belt to say anything like that. Oh, you're not good enough black belt. Blue belt, you may not even make it there. We are guys that I know me. I've been in the game 25 years. Steve, you've been in the game longer than me. Mike, I've known you forever. Jesse, I'm just now meeting you. I think we have to kind of maintain that. Mike, I've seen you compete against any and everybody. I've never seen you, as they say, duck a fade. I've never seen it. Anybody have said, hey, Mike, I got this. Okay. And to me, that's what a black belt is. We are willing to stand on our shield. We're ready to go. And sometimes I think now I'm getting into what we're not even going to talk about. But anyway, Jesse, I really want to hear, man, please tell us
Yeah, I
about
want
your
to hear that.
experience from Atlanta and Louisville.
No, so I lived in Atlanta for about 10 years. I was originally from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm back now. But my martial arts journey, my jiu-jitsu started in Atlanta, and I started a school. My first school was in Atlanta. And I didn't think much of it at the time. I mean, I knew demographically it was different than other places I visited, but my student body was uh 75, 80% non-white. And most of them were black guys. And
Hold on. How are you attracted? I can't attract them here, but go ahead.
well, no, so this is the thing, and maybe this is what I want to talk about is we decided about 10 years ago or so to make the move back up to Louisville, and I started a school here, and there wasn't a black guy to be found in any of my first 100 students. Um, and it was wild. I felt like, oh shit, am I doing something wrong up here? Where is everybody? This doesn't look like the group I was training in Atlanta. And I still haven't necessarily cracked that code. It doesn't sound like you've cracked it in Ohio either.
I haven't. I don't know what it's.
Well, I
I don't know what I
can
need to
offer
do.
that. I think that
Guys, keep it going. I
a
can
part
hear
of
you,
it
but
is
my dog has to go out. He's nipping at me. Come on.
I got you. A part of it is demographic. A part of it is and what I mean by demographic is the location for where you are as well, and if it's
Yeah.
being offered. I can tell you, as a black man in America, it was never really something that it has never really been something that is seen as in the community where we are in general. Like I see a couple of schools here that are in different areas of, and they're doing well in that respect. And I think that, but dependent upon where that, most of the time, because jujitsu is normally a higher dollar activity, it's normally in places in the community that's that's what the demographic is. And I'm not even saying it to make it white and black. It's just like, this is where these people live. This is where these people live.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, most people aren't going to drive 30, 40, 50 minutes to get to where, you know, to their gym. Some people do, but I'm saying in general, people want to kind of be 15, 20 minutes. I can do what I want to do. Well, that doesn't happen very often. So that's been a thing for a very long time that I thought, I did think it was something maybe in society, in the cultural aspect of it, that was an issue, but I don't think that's it. I just think I think it's more demographic.
Sorry,
But
guys.
you, again, if I walk into a gym and there's no representation of me, no matter sometimes how well I may feel by the people that are there, I'm gonna be like, well, I kind of don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
I have to be here with everybody that's here. And it's not even, again, it might not be an unpleasant experience with a person that's there. It's just, there's nobody looks like me here.
But think about it, Steve.
So
It's not a
why
lot of.
is that?
I think as a whole, though, you go to most tournaments, there's just not a lot of, just for whatever reason, black people don't like. Now Lloyd's figured it out, but I mean, when you go to a
But
tournament, there's
again,
not a lot of black people there at jiu-jitsu
and
tournaments. It's just not.
where is Lloyd? Lloyd did figure it out, but Lloyd is
But
also,
he lives
again,
in
it's
DC.
where that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So jiu-jitsu as a whole, if you think of it when jiu-jitsu started to blow up here, it was always in more Caucasian, affluent, remote areas. And what I mean by remote, these are places in the city that most people didn't go. You didn't see a lot of brothers there. You just didn't. So if I don't see it, what do we want as a gym? We want a lot of walk-up traffic. We want a lot of ride-by traffic. Why? So people can ride by, walk by, and say, oh, I want to come in here and see that. Well, if I don't drive by here on a daily basis, I'll never really see it. It's very, very hard for me to, and it's not that you don't see the marketing online somewhere. It's that, oh, I saw the market. Oh, I might want to try that. Oh, damn, that's 45 minutes over here. Or I'm never in that area of town. So why am I going to go there?
I think
And
representation does really matter. God, almost a decade ago, I was a youth mentor for one of our youth programs at the nonprofit I work for. And my first mentee was this like 17-year-old kid who was matched up with me because he was really wanting to learn martial arts. And so I brought him in to jiu-jitsu. We, let him train for free, and he could just go whenever I went. And he was a young African-American kid. And he was training with us for 2 or 3 months out at Magic. And it didn't even occur to me that he never saw any other black kids
Mhm.
in the gym. And then we have a coach, a black coach, Robert Verdell. And the first day that Robert's a school teacher, so his schedule was all waxed and he couldn't show up a lot. But the first day that Robert walked in the gym, my mentee was like, eyes lit up and like
Mhm.
gravitated toward Robert. And then it clicked. I was like, oh my God, of course. Like he was welcomed and he, was a great kid and everyone loved him and all that stuff. But it clicked with me that one day when Robert showed up, like, oh, representation really matters. Like this kid finally sees somebody who looks more like him and he's like
Yeah,
eating it up, you know?
I mean, women have the same problem with jujitsu. They walk in and they're the only
exactly.
woman,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
but and I know this because we have
Let's go inside.
managed to kind of crack the code at Rough Hands for keeping women in the gym. But it does require kind of a critical mass. And if, every person that doesn't look like everybody that's already in there, if they always leave because no one looks like them, it's
Hey,
incredibly hard
shouts
to
out to
hit
the
that
women
critical
that do
mass.
jujitsu. Shouts out to the women that train jujitsu because that is
Hell yes.
you're right. Can you imagine going in an academy you're a woman, you see like 25, 30 guys in there, like women that stick this out, I give them so much credit because I know it's hard. Like I've been fortunate. I have one black belt female, doesn't train as much anymore, but I was just like, it was my first black belt female, and I was sitting there like, I look back at all the different men that came and went, and she stuck it through. I was like, man, that's just amazing when you see that, you know.
Well, I think on the ladies aspect of it, in society in general, we have not made women feel comfortable around a multitude of men. That so it's not even like we were talking about. Hey, a guy comes in and he's not necessarily a fit for your culture, but he sticks it out because he's just obstinate. I'm not gonna let this beat me. Well, ladies are like, once again, like I was speaking, this could cost me my safety. This could cost me my life. So I'm not going to, I don't care how nice you are to me. If I don't see enough representation here that makes me feel like, oh, they're doing something that relates to me, no matter how nice everybody is, I don't want to be there. I mean, think about it. You go anywhere and you're like, this is just not the spot for me. And you stay there for a while. People are nice. And you're like, I'm not going back there because this is just not the place. No matter what, like if it's what your taste in music or it's whatever your thing is, if your thing is not there, I'm out of here. Eventually, you're not gonna. And jujitsu's hard enough without having to feel like I like to think of myself sometimes as one of those stubborn people. Like when I would not feel comfortable, I wouldn't say much sometimes. Cause I knew when it got to the point of me having to say something that it was gonna be the point I had to do something. And I never wanted to be that guy in the gym, especially once again, as a black man in the gym, I don't want to be the angry black guy in the gym. So a lot of things that have been said and I've caught, I just mark and remember. Okay, I don't deal with you very much anymore. And
Do
you'll
you
see me
think
gravitate away from you. I'll still, hey, how you doing? But hey, how you doing over there? Are we gonna train together? Like one thing, I don't train with people I don't like. If I don't like you or you don't like me, my safety is in your hands, your safety is in my hands. So the day when I flash out and figure out, hey, I remember when he said so and so, now I'm going to be putting myself in a bad position, whether for offense or defense. That's not a good place. So I just kind of,
hey,
I
hey
do this.
Steve,
Yeah.
I got a question, Steve and Jesse, because Mike, you and I are from up north, and they're
Hmm.
more southern. And I feel like
Hey, you say that with put some respect on that.
no, I honestly, because Steve,
I
I'm
don't like the
kind
way
of
you said that.
Steve. I visited your gym. You know, you're my boy. You're my but I think I don't know. It seems like up north, I feel like it's a little different element than what you probably have to deal with down south. I mean,
Uh,
Mike, what do you think? Because we all train like up north here. We're kind of I don't know. It just seems like just kind of listen to, and I've had some stories too, but I'm like, I'm just sitting there and just kind of listening. You say, man, a guy you might not like, I haven't, and it's been fortunate that I haven't really run into that in my academy yet. Not to say it won't
mhm.
happen, but and I agree with you. You can't train with guys you don't like. That's what happens when you have, like, I got a couple young killers that are coming up, and I explain to these guys, I'm like, hey, guys, when you're training with certain guys, you don't have to tap this guy 50, 100 times. He's an older guy. He's in his 50s. He's a white belt. He's a blue belt. And, I don't think it's ever a thing if they don't like each other. They just get so excited. But I say that to say, Mike, would you say it's a little different up north for Jesse and Steve?
I don't know. I visited Jesse's gym a bunch, and
Yeah, we got to get invited to the camp, by the way. But go ahead.
oh well, I'll send
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
send you
we'll
some
talk
info.
about that. Yeah.
I want to come. I
Yeah,
want to come to that thing. I love to come to Louisville. Yeah.
I would love that. I visited Jesse's gym a whole bunch. I was just there last month, and I don't know. I'm too biased because I'm good friends with Jesse. I don't feel a ton of difference in culture in terms of gym culture down there, but I
Mhm.
haven't visited a ton of gyms in the South. Jesse's is probably the one I've been to the most, so
Well,
it's
I've been
hard
to
for me to
Steve's,
say.
and they all beat me up in there, and then had the nerve to offer me a cold tub afterwards. All right, yeah, I
Well,
needed it after that training session.
I've seen Steve compete, and I don't want to be looking at Steve from the other side of that ring. That's all I got to say.
Steve
I
doesn't like the
appreciate
clock,
that.
by the way. If you ever train with him, you can be rolling, buzzer go now, keep going. I'm like, hold on, man. What is that? No, but
You were
Steve has an
visiting.
outstanding gym. And I saw Rafael at Worlds, by the way, man. Came up, gave the guy a huge hug, but you know, like I said, Steve and I have been close. And what we do, and Steve, I know you don't mind sharing this. We'll break each other's fights down. Like we'll give each other honest feedback. He'll be like, "Hey, Deon, tell me honestly, what did you see?" And he'll do the same for me. As a matter of fact, I just posted that video, the 50-50 video. You can hear Steve in the background yelling on the side over there too. So we do
And
that
you
at
can
each
see
other.
him not listening either.
Yeah, well, that was two, Steve. But anyway, you're supposed to be arguing for that. No.
So I want to know what you guys think we could do as a community differently to make people feel more welcome in jiu-jitsu, and then in particular combat this rise of basically hate groups using combat sports as recruitment.
I think what we're doing now,
Oh,
exposing it. I
this is
think
part. This is a part.
you have to expose it. You have to talk about it. And hopefully this will trend where other people start talking about it. Because let's be honest, a lot of these groups like to be in hiding. They don't say it with their chest out, as you say. They don't do that. A lot of these guys thought it
Mhm.
was okay. Okay, we're just going to be building these little guys. Now you have guys like us are saying, hey, we see you. I think more of that.
Um, here's the thing. This country has been built on racism. All of the good portions of it have been built on the back of racism, on genocide, on this kind of treatment. It is so pervasive in the foundation of this particular country that anything that ends up looking like equality actually should look like feels like discrimination to some people. That's why you have so many people. Oh, there's a few theories of it. Like you hear the kind of Nazi side of it saying, "Hey, there's a race war coming. There's a race war coming." And I'm sitting there like, I ain't trying to go to war with nobody right now, right? But when you think about it, the reason is if you did 1/10 of what has been done to people on the basis of color, on creed, on religion, on sexual orientation, or anything, if you did 1/10 of that to that same group of people, the violence and retaliation would be epic. So they're saying, why they got to be pissed off. All this shit we've been doing is so bad that I know what I would have done if they would have done it to me. So I know they must be plotting something. So that causes fear. What does fear cause? Fear causes, I'm going to get a whole bunch of guns. I'm going to learn how to choke somebody. I'm going to learn how to punch somebody. I'm going to learn how to do these things because somebody's going to get me. Because I think that these people walking down the street that I despise, that I've created this issue, are looking at me in anger. And most of the 95 to 99% of the time, the people that are on the short end of that stick just want to be left alone and be able to be equal. Now, I say visiting other schools. I've visited schools all over. I've gone to tournaments all over. Have I been treated outwardly like, hey, get out of here? No. If you're familiar with setting the table, I've had the table set on me a couple times, and
I'm
fine
not.
with
Tell me
me
what that
because
means.
Basically, if you come to my gym and I'm going to get all the killers to come. And then I'm going to direct you to each one of these in succession. Right? So that I make sure that I'm trying to do you dirty. I'm not just wanting to let you train. I want our people just to run through you. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes it happens because they want the name of the school to mean more because hey, these guys are tough. Sometimes they just want to see if you are as advertised as they thought you were, or they thought you weren't. So they're gonna, hey, so now you got to run through these people. That's why certain places I won't visit, like for open mat or something like that. Like if I know I don't really get down with the character of the people or whatever, I don't go for that. Or I'm going with that on my mind. So I already have, like, I'm here. I'm with the shit. I'm here for this. So you have that. Now I say that I watch what people do in their life. People want to act like I can separate who I am on the mat because you're supposed to leave your ego. You're supposed to leave your daily thoughts and everything you're supposed to leave that aside. Right? If you don't, you get choked. So my thing is though, there's a couple of gyms that I would love to visit. Like when I go home to Louisiana, I'll never step foot in those gyms because of both the instructor and what they say and what they believe in and what they follow, and their students. I will never step foot in their gym for anything. They can't pay me to do a seminar. They can't pay me to come train. They can't not for free. And the thing is, it's like, because if I know that you're faking, you're acting this way in your daily life, and then you're faking what you know what I'm saying? Because to me, if you're being nice to me when you see me, again, you're faking this for several reasons. One, you just don't want to seem like what you actually are. The other one is you don't feel like you can beat me. So it's like, and I'm not saying I can beat everybody. That's not what I mean. But it's like you have people that'll look at you a certain way. They're like, all right, so I'm not going to say anything because most of the time, even if you know the person will retaliate, most times they'll leave you alone. That's it. It's like I've always told people, I'm not a gangster. I'm not the best at ever. Yes, I've done very well in jiu-jitsu. Not that guy. I've taken L's and as more often than not these days. But at the same time, I will fight you. And I don't necessarily even mean physically, but I'm not going to allow you to do me wrong without me actually standing up for myself. And a lot of people don't like that. So, um, but I also know if I go there and I already have that feeling, I'm going to take offense to something that may not necessarily be offensive. So I stay out of those situations just so I'm always in the right. But there's a bunch of schools that I'll never set foot in because I watch who their instructors are, and then I watch the people that are around them. We had a very, you remember, I'm not gonna say the name because we had a very racist situation happen. Well, it's been a while. It's been a long time. The person basically was saying the N-word repeatedly
I
in a
think me and you
video,
talked about this.
that they posted to their own Instagram. And it was somebody that I consider a friend, somebody I considered to be cool. I didn't consider them to be that way because I also know that where he's from, the racism is prevalent there too. So I wouldn't have thought that. I'll just say that the problem I had was the people in the room. All of these people trained at the gym too. For as heinous as what he did and then lied about it and dealt with it the way he dealt with it, that was bad enough. But there were people in the room that both financially supported him. They supported him by being students at the gym. They supported him by saying, oh, it's not all of that. It's not that serious. Those people were there and all those people trained there. All of them. And
I'm gonna say this.
nobody in the room said, "Hey man, did you just say man, why would you?" Nobody said that. You know what they did? They were laughing. So that
I,
means
I'm
you support it. You're
I'm
okay
gonna
with it.
say this, Steve. I had an incident, and Mike kind of knows about this. There was a guy literally gave me an award for Midwest. I'm not even gonna mention his name, but I will say this: the support that I got from that was, I had his old instructor. I had people that Trent said, "Hey," and the guy with those tournaments. And I had guys say, "You know what, man? If this guy's a part of this, we're not gonna be a part of it." And it made me feel so good. Like, and the tournament was kind of a big deal in this area, and the guys were
Mhm.
like, "Nope, we found out what it was." I mean, and I was just thinking to myself, because when I exposed it a little bit, I think I mentioned it online. I went in and I was just like, well, you know what? I already know there's going to be some guys that's going to say, oh, he's just being a certain way, or he's no, no, no. Man, the response I got, I look at those messages from time to time, like, wow, it melted my heart. And put like this, weren't none of them black guys. They were all white guys, man. They all came, a black belt, brown belts, lower belts. Like, we're not going to support this guy's stuff because what he said, and then he was in your face. And it made me feel great. So I say that to say there is power. I think there's enough of us out here. There's more of
Yeah.
us than I think more of them. So if we can continue to just support one another that way, I think maybe will we eradicate it? No, it's never going to go anywhere. But I think exposure sometimes is the best. And this guy hasn't been
Yeah.
throwing tournaments. He hasn't been involved in many tournaments. So it worked.
Yeah. Exposure, yes, for sure. And I do think, like, I do believe that there's more good than bad. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be doing it. I wouldn't endure the I'm listening to the conversation and these things are being said freely between 2 or 3 people. And then I'm like, now I got to go train with you, or I got to teach you, or I got to be
Yeah.
like, right. I wouldn't endure it if that was the case, but there needs to be more. I'm going to stand on this and this is what it's going to be. The problem is most people don't want to, like you said, most people don't want to do that because they don't want to lose the money of this person. They don't want to lose the support of that people. So they're, and I can't pay your bills. So I get it,
See, I
but
don't
there
see
has
it
to be
because
something
I have that.
there has
I
to
was
be
just
something that you stand for.
But I have that same theory because this is another podcast too. I don't like when I hear guys, well, let me promote this guy because I don't want him to quit. Or I tell everybody that comes to
Oh,
my
no,
school, look,
no.
I'm not a belt factory, but we know it happens. We know guys will
Hmm.
be like, well, we don't want to lose, I don't want to lose this income. I'm blessed that my school is actually a second job. But anyway, I didn't mean to go in too
Hmm.
much, guys. I know we're running over here, but it's just good to talk to you guys for real.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
been a great conversation. And, this made me think of, I think we've probably said it before on this podcast. We got to quit giving assholes black belts.
Yes.
No, no,
That
no.
right there.
This has,
Back,
this has to
wait,
stop.
wait, back up. On that same level, we have to quit giving assholes purple belts.
Yes,
Mm.
absolutely.
Or blue
Long,
belts.
long, long ago, Jacare told me, he was like, if you give somebody a purple belt, you gave them a black belt.
Yep.
Because if you're a
That's
purple
what
belt, that means you've been around long enough where, okay, there's 4 of us on here. All of us probably know whoever that person is, or we've seen them enough. So now when he leaves my school, hey, Jesse, I was over, and you're like, okay, you train, bam, he's a brown belt. I was over to the other, bam, he's a black belt. You give somebody a
Yes,
purple belt, you give them a black belt. And I
I've
only
made that
have
mistake.
a few. I have a handful. I have before. It's like, now blue belt, cool. If I give you a purple belt, I expect you to be a black belt, and I expect to know. Like, I don't want to find out you were Jeffrey Dahmer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should know that by that
yeah.
time, because I expect you to be, because your name is tied to that person for the rest of your life.
It really
And a lot of
is.
times they're always gonna say, they're not even gonna say, let's say Deon was my black belt, right? They're not gonna say, Deon did so and so. They're gonna say Steve's black belt did so and so. That's how it normally ends up. They tie and they tie everybody to the same thing.
But to your
So
point, and it's funny because those guys, even like you said, the purple belt, and if people know they've trained with one of us, they never get the whole story. They just get a chance to look at well, you train with Jesse, Steve. Wow, you must be okay. Why'd you fall out? Then they give some crazy story, and then, like you say, before you know it, they end up a black belt. But you're right. We got to police that better. We have to.
100%.
like I said, overall, I don't think that we're having an issue in most gyms. The problem is that is there. Like I said, I can hear conversations that show me who you really are. Okay, what am I supposed to do? It's like that's a bad thing, and it's like you have to kind of get to a point where, hey, we don't support this, and people up to this point, people got it kind of mixed up because they always try to make it to say it's political so that it's not popular to attack it. Because if I tell you I'm attacking you because you're a conservative and I'm a liberal, or I'm a liberal and you can what vice versa. If I tell you that, people look at you, oh, that's not how you should be. Well, that's not what this is about. This is not about trickle down economics as opposed to, you know what I'm saying? That's not what it's about. This is about things that actually affect people on a life scale. I don't care that you have more conservative views or more liberal views or more whatever. Those are policies. Character is, I don't like this person because they're gay. I don't like this person because they're Muslim. I don't like this person because they're brown or they're black or they're whatever. That is a character issue. And the problem is when you have a majority of that coalescing into one kind of movement per se, that we don't like none of these things. And a lot of these things are on a cultural and like I said, a more evil intent. You have to not allow that. And like I said, people try to use that as a scapegoat. It's just politics. No, if if your political ideology is based on preventing me from health, wealth, and life based on who I am, then it's not political. So we
That's right.
can't we
I,
can't be
I
cool with that.
yeah, I don't give a shit about how you feel about tax policy, or we can have debates about all that stuff, but when it comes to how we treat each other as humans, like, that is fucking non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Steve, I think that's exactly right. That's the line in the sand for me.
Amen. Amen. So as we wrap up today,
Mhm.
I want to thank Deon and Steve for coming on. You guys, I've known both of you for a while, and I really respect both of you, and I'm grateful for your friendship.
Same here, man.
Thank you, man.
Same here.
That means a lot to me. We'll start with Steve. Where can people learn about you, get a hold of you if they want to visit your gym? Do you
Uh,
have any socials you want to share? Or if not, that's okay.
I train under Hafel Lang at Real BJJ Lifestyle here in Dallas. Um, you can I'm insignificant. It's not a big deal as far as me.
You mean a lot to me, Steve.
I appreciate it. No, I mean for like I don't really carry a like I on my Instagram, like it's basically my band's Instagram. Like I have a band, it's called Bionic, and Bionic Brass Band is BIONIQ Brass Band. But I put some of my jujitsu stuff up there. I've been trying to shy away from actually doing that because, like I said, a lot of things have me to the point where I'm belligerent. So I'm trying not to be that online because I don't like it in other people. Right. So, but if you want to find me, you can find me there, but you can always find me training and helping to instruct at Real BJJ. And I'm happy to be there.
Nice.
Well,
Nice.
Steve's a
What
hell
about
of a coach. Like I said, helped me win American Nationals. There you go, Steve. I'm giving you your props right there. I listen.
I appreciate it.
I'm Deon Thompson. You can find me at Deon, Deon Thompson Jiu-Jitsu on Facebook, and it's the same thing on Instagram. I'm not as funny as Steve on Facebook. Steve, he posted some funny stuff, man. But I've known Mike, Jesse, man. This is so awesome meeting you. I've kind of watched you
Yeah, for
guys,
sure.
watch what you do in Louisville from afar, because I know Mike always talks about the camp and stuff. I think it's awesome, for real. And you guys are always welcome to come. Mike, you trained with me before, so you know what it is. We have a good time here. Steve is kind of a liar because he's supposed to be visiting me. Allegedly, he was coming to Detroit last year for whatever reason.
I
Didn't make
was.
it. I've been to Dallas twice,
No,
Steve.
it got cold. I don't do cold, buddy. Catch you in the
Hey,
summer.
see, that's why we're tougher up here in the North and the Midwest. That's why
I'm
we're
okay with
tougher.
that. I am okay with that.
He's okay with that.
But at any rate, though, no, you guys are always welcome to come up here. I love having you guys. I love exposing my students to different instructors. Mike, you definitely got to come, man. I love what your philosophy is on a lot of stuff. Us being older guys, there's certain ways. I think I like some of your theories on how to train, how to stay healthy. I tell my young guys all the time, I said, your goal should be to make it to the Masters division. That's the goal. So allowing guys to, wrench your neck and all that inversion stuff, which we have to teach it. But, I have a very good group of guys and young ladies. Please come visit my school. I would love to have you guys there. And I'm sure my students would get a lot out of having you there.
I'm going to schedule a visit after the new year, Deon. Drive down on a weekend and hang out and train. So
why don't we make a weekend?
Y'all are always welcome down here as well. Y'all are always welcome here.
My brother lives in Houston, so maybe he'll drive over during a visit.
Come on down.
Awesome.
I know a bunch of places to train. If you're in Houston, I can meet you down there. There's a bunch of places there too.
Sweet.
Let's get together.
Yep.
Jesse,
Jesse, where can
being
people
soft on the cold, man? It's why you wear a coat. You're making us hoopers look bad, Steve. Always talk about how tough we are as basketball players. Come on, man.
When the temperature is younger than my age, I don't go outside.
It gets worse every year then, doesn't it, Steve?
No, Mike, this is coming from a multiple-time world champion, multiple-time pan champion. People who are watching this, listen to this guy.
Go stand outside in 40-degree weather. I've been locked out of my house in shorts and a shirt in 54-degree weather and almost died. No.
So you're telling me the way I can beat Stephen Hall in Jiu-Jitsu is to do it in the snow?
Yeah, we got to find a cold venue.
But you can't find me in the snow.
That's the problem. Oh my God, I love you guys.
I'm telling you that's not happening.
You Southern soft guys, man.
Jesse, where can we find you, Jesse?
Yeah, find me right below the Mason-Dixon line in Louisville, Kentucky. Rough Hands BJJ. Rough Hands BJJ on all the socials and roughhandsbjj.com. Guys, this has been a pleasure. I've loved meeting you guys, and hopefully we can keep this party going.
Nice meeting you, brother.
For sure. Appreciate you. Thank you, guys.
All right.
All right, gang. We'll see you next time.